Professional wrestling has always been a spectacle of grandeur, where larger-than-life personas, intense rivalries, and colorful characters dominate the entertainment landscape. Among the plethora of wrestling personas that have graced the squared circle, few have been as captivating, polarizing, or transformative as George Gray, better known by his iconic ring names, One Man Gang and the African Dream, Akeem. Welcome to Wrestling with Me, the ultimate destination for wrestling fans. Get ready to dive into the world of high-flying action, jaw-dropping moments, and all the drama inside the squared circle. Whether you're here for legendary matches or in-depth analysis, this is the place to be. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay in the loop as we bring you the best wrestling content every week. Born on February 12, 1960, in Spartanburg, South Carolina, George Gray entered the world of professional wrestling during a time when flamboyance and storytelling were just as important as technical ability. Towering at 6 feet 7 inches and weighing over 450 pounds, Gray was a natural fit for the industry. Throughout his career, he captivated audiences not just with his sheer physical presence but also with his ability to evolve and adapt to the ever-changing world of professional wrestling. One Man Gang's transformation into Akeem represented more than just a gimmick change. It showcased the creative experimentation of the World Wrestling Federation during the 1980s, a time when Vince McMahon's vision of wrestling entertainment was redefining the industry. While the character of Akeem remains a subject of debate among fans and critics, it undeniably contributed to the colorful legacy of 1980s wrestling. This video explores the life and career of George Gray, focusing on his journey from the hard-hitting, brawling persona of One Man Gang to the eccentric and unforgettable Akeem. It examines the cultural and professional impact of these characters and the enduring legacy they left behind. Before stepping into the spotlight as Akeem, George Gray made his mark as the intimidating and brutal One Man Gang. Gray's journey began in the Southern Territories, where he honed his craft and developed his menacing persona. Wrestling for promotions such as Mid-South Wrestling, Gray established himself as a formidable heel, dominating opponents with his size, power, and ruthless aggression. One Man Gang's look was as imposing as his in-ring style. Sporting a shaved head, a thick beard, and a leather vest, he epitomized the archetype of a street-tough brawler. His finishing move, the 747 Splash, became a devastating exclamation point to his matches, earning him a reputation as one of the most dangerous competitors in the business. Gray's tenure in Mid-South Wrestling saw him engage in memorable feuds with top stars such as Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Junkyard Dog. These rivalries helped cement One Man Gang's status as a major player in the wrestling world. His success in the territories eventually caught the attention of Vince McMahon, who was in the midst of expanding the WWF into a national powerhouse. In 1987, One Man Gang made his debut in the WWF. His arrival was perfectly timed, as the WWF's roster was stacked with larger-than-life characters. Despite the stiff competition, One Man Gang quickly carved out a niche for himself as a dominant heel. Managed by the cunning Slick, One Man Gang was positioned as a top-tier threat to fan-favorite babyfaces. During his time in the WWF, One Man Gang participated in several high-profile matches and storylines. He was a prominent competitor in the inaugural Survivor Series in 1987 and was part of the historic WrestleMania tournament for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. While he did not capture the title, his presence in these events solidified his place as a key figure in the company. However, the late 1980s were a period of evolution in professional wrestling, with the WWF constantly seeking new ways to captivate its audience. This drive for innovation led to one of the most dramatic character transformations in wrestling history. In 1988, the WWF introduced a new chapter in George Gray's career. One Man Gang was rebranded as Akeem, the African Dream. The transformation was explained in a series of vignettes where Slick claimed that One Man Gang had rediscovered his African roots. These segments, set in stereotypical and exaggerated African settings, were a product of their time, reflecting the WWF's penchant for over-the-top theatrics. Akeem's character was a stark departure from the intimidating persona of One Man Gang. Adorned in colorful dashikis, sunglasses, and a fedora, Akeem embraced a flamboyant and exaggerated personality. He spoke with an affected accent and incorporated dance moves into his entrance and in-ring style. This character was intended to be both comedic and memorable, a testament to the WWF's emphasis on entertainment. The transformation was met with mixed reactions. While some fans appreciated the humor and uniqueness of the character, others criticized it as culturally insensitive and a step down from the menacing aura of one-man gang. Nevertheless, Akeem's antics made him a fixture on WWF programming, and he formed a memorable partnership with Big Boss Man as the Twin Towers. Akeem's alliance with Big Boss Man was one of the highlights of his tenure as the African Dream. Managed by Slick, the Twin Towers were a formidable tag team that blended power, size, and personality. Together, they feuded with top babyface teams, including the Mega Powers Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage. While the Twin Towers never captured the WWF Tag Team Championship, their impact on the tag team division and their role in major storylines showcased the versatility and value of both Akeem and Big Boss Man. By 1990, Akeem's appearances became less frequent, and George Gray eventually parted ways with the WWF. He continued wrestling on the independent circuit and made sporadic appearances in other promotions, but the peak of his career had passed. Despite this, his contributions to professional wrestling during his time as one-man gang and Akeem left an indelible mark on the industry. George Gray's career as one-man gang and Akeem is a testament to the power of reinvention in professional wrestling. His ability to transition from a brutal brawler to a comedic and flamboyant character showcased his versatility and commitment to entertaining the audience. One-Man Gang remains a beloved figure among fans of classic wrestling, remembered for his dominance and no-nonsense approach. Meanwhile, Akeem, despite the controversy surrounding the character, is celebrated as a product of a bygone era, representing the WWF's creative experimentation during the 1980s. Gray's contributions extend beyond his in-ring performances. His work helped pave the way for future wrestlers to embrace bold and unconventional personas. Characters like Rikishi, The Godfather, and even modern stars owe a debt to the groundwork laid by performers like Gray, who weren't afraid to push boundaries and explore new creative directions. The story of George Gray, from one-man gang to Akeem, is a fascinating journey through the history of professional wrestling. It reflects the industry's evolution, from the gritty territorial days to the glitzy and theatrical world of the WWF in the 1980s. Gray's ability to adapt and reinvent himself ensured his place in wrestling lore, earning him a legacy that continues to be celebrated by fans and historians alike. While the character of Akeem may evoke mixed feelings, there is no denying its impact on the wrestling world. It stands as a reminder of an era when wrestling wasn't just about competition, but also about creating moments of joy, laughter, and astonishment. As we look back on the careers of legends like George Gray, we are reminded of the enduring power of professional wrestling to entertain, inspire, and bring people together in celebration of the extraordinary. Well, that's all we've got time for today, and a big thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future content. See you in the next video. Ken Patera, one of professional wrestling's most polarizing and fascinating figures, left an indelible mark on the industry during his illustrious career. A montage of his highlights plays in the mind of any wrestling fan as Herculean feats of strength, electrifying rivalries, and undeniable charisma. From his days as an Olympic weightlifter to his storied run in the World Wrestling Federation, Patera's career was nothing short of legendary. Imagine the moment he pressed a 500-pound weight overhead with ease, followed by a raucous crowd cheering him on as he slammed giants in the ring. Ken embodied physical dominance, captivating audiences with both his athletic prowess and larger-than-life persona. However, his life was also marked by struggles and redemption, making his story one of triumph, tragedy, and transformation. Welcome to Wrestling with Me, the ultimate destination for wrestling fans. Get ready to dive into the world of high-flying action, jaw-dropping moments, and all the drama inside the squared circle. Whether you're here for legendary matches or in-depth analysis, this is the place to be. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay in the loop as we bring you the best wrestling content every week. This video is dedicated to one of my loyal subscribers, who asked when he commented on another of our videos if we can do one on Ken Patera. So thank you Manchurian Candy Bar 864 and we hope you enjoy it. Remember, if there is anyone you would like me to cover, drop a comment down below and we will see if we can do it for you. Kenneth Wayne Patera was born on November 6, 1942, in Portland, Oregon. From an early age, he exhibited extraordinary physical strength and a competitive spirit. Excelling in track and field during high school, Patera quickly realized his potential in athletics. His natural ability led him to pursue weightlifting, where he would carve a name for himself as one of the strongest men in the world. Patera's weightlifting career peaked in the 1970s when he represented the United States at the Summer Olympics in Munich, Germany in 1972, competing in the heavyweight category. He set multiple American records, earning recognition as one of the strongest men in the world. His accomplishments in weightlifting, including gold medals at the Pan American Games and various national championships, established him as a dominant force in strength sports. The transition from weightlifting to professional wrestling was a natural progression for Patera. His immense strength, coupled with his charisma and athleticism, made him a perfect fit for the world of sports entertainment. Trained by legendary wrestlers Vern Gagne and Billy Robinson, Patera debuted in the American Wrestling Association in the early 1970s. It didn't take long for him to make an impact. Patera quickly gained notoriety for his villainous persona, often portraying the arrogant and brash strong man who could back up his boasts with sheer power. His finishing move, the swinging full Nelson, became one of the most feared holds in wrestling, showcasing his unparalleled strength. Ken Patera's wrestling career reached its zenith in the late 1970s and early 1980s. During this time, he competed in major promotions such as the World Wrestling Federation and the National Wrestling Alliance. He captured numerous championships, including the WWF Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship and multiple regional titles. One of Patera's most memorable rivalries was with Bruno Sammartino, the living legend of professional wrestling. Their clashes drew sellout crowds, with Patera often coming close to dethroning Sammartino during his legendary title reign. Another iconic feud was with Bob Backlund, whose technical prowess clashed beautifully with Patera's raw power, resulting in matches that are still celebrated by wrestling historians. Patera's ability to draw heat as a heel made him one of the most despised yet compelling figures in wrestling. Fans relished booing him, but they couldn't deny his talent and larger-than-life presence. His promos, laced with bravado and disdain for his opponents, became legendary. Among Ken Patera's most fascinating interactions in professional wrestling were his encounters with the iconic Hulk Hogan. As Hogan's meteoric rise in the wrestling world turned him into a global phenomenon, Patera stood as one of the few wrestlers capable of matching his charisma and physicality in the ring. Their clashes symbolized the classic battle of hero versus villain, with Hogan embodying the larger-than-life hero and Patera playing the role of the powerful, ruthless adversary. One of their most notable encounters occurred during the early 1980s when Patera's reputation as a dominant heel made him a perfect foil for Hogan, who was emerging as the face of professional wrestling. The tension between the two reached a boiling point during their heated matches, which showcased Patera's ability to make even the most indestructible hero appear vulnerable. Hogan's famous Hulk Up moments, where he absorbed punishment only to mount an incredible comeback, were made all the more dramatic by Patera's imposing offense. Their rivalry extended beyond the ring, as Patera's disdainful promos targeted Hogan's all-American persona. Patera's biting wit and unapologetic arrogance contrasted perfectly with Hogan's wholesome appeal, creating a dynamic that captivated audiences. These promos, along with their hard-hitting matches, cemented Patera as one of Hogan's most formidable early challengers. In addition to their battles, Patera's influence on Hogan's career trajectory cannot be overstated. By pushing Hogan to his limits, Patera helped establish him as a resilient and resourceful competitor, traits that became central to Hogan's enduring popularity. Their rivalry demonstrated the importance of a credible antagonist in elevating a hero, and Patera's contributions in this regard are a significant part of his legacy. Patera's matches with Hogan also highlighted his versatility as a performer. While known for his strength and power-based defense, he displayed a remarkable ability to adapt to Hogan's style, combining technical wrestling with storytelling to create unforgettable moments. This adaptability ensured that their clashes remained fresh and engaging, even as Hogan's popularity continued to soar. Though their rivalry was not as prolonged as some of Patera's other feuds, Its impact resonated deeply with fans and solidified his place in the pantheon of wrestling greats. For Patera, facing off against Hulk Hogan was not just about contesting matches but about crafting stories that would be remembered for decades. While his career was filled with triumphs, it was not without its share of challenges. In 1984, he was involved in a highly publicized legal incident that resulted in a prison sentence. This period of his life tested his resilience but also marked a turning point. Upon his release, Patera sought redemption, returning to wrestling with a renewed sense of purpose. Patera's return to the ring in the late 1980s was met with mixed reactions, but he proved that he still had what it took to compete at the highest level. Though his physical prime had passed, his experience and determination allowed him to adapt his style, focusing more on storytelling and psychology in his matches. During this phase, Patera often worked as a mentor to younger talent, sharing his wealth of knowledge and helping to shape the next generation of wrestlers. His contributions extended beyond the ring, as he became a respected figure backstage, known for his insights and work ethic. Patera's influence on professional wrestling is undeniable. As one of the first athletes to successfully transition from Olympic sports to wrestling, he paved the way for future stars like Kurt Angle and Mark Henry. His blend of athleticism, showmanship, and strength set a standard for what a powerhouse wrestler could be. Patera's career serves as a reminder of the highs and lows that come with a life in the spotlight. Despite facing personal and professional setbacks, he remained a beloved figure in the wrestling community, admired for his contributions to the sport and his unwavering determination. Well, that's all we've got time for today, and a big thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future content. See you in the next video. Kevin Wackles, better known by his ring name Nailz, is a figure etched into the annals of professional wrestling history. While his career in the wrestling world was relatively brief, it was marked by a unique blend of controversy, intensity, and an undeniable ability to capture the audience's attention. Nailz's journey through the wrestling world offers insights into the gritty and often tumultuous life of a professional wrestler. Welcome to Wrestling with Me, the ultimate destination for wrestling fans. Get ready to dive into the world of high-flying action, jaw-dropping moments, and all the drama inside the squared circle. Whether you're here for legendary matches or in-depth analysis, this is the place to be. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay in the loop as we bring you the best wrestling content every week. Kevin Wackles was born on December 13, 1958, in Bloomington, Minnesota. Growing up in a middle-class family, Wackles displayed a passion for sports from a young age. He excelled in athletics during his high school years, which eventually paved the way for his entrance into the world of professional wrestling. Like many wrestlers of his era, Wackles began his career by working for regional promotions, learning the ropes and honing his craft in smaller circuits before moving on to larger platforms. Wackles made his professional wrestling debut in the early 1980s, standing at 6 feet 4 inches and weighing over 300 pounds. He had the physical presence that demanded attention. His early career saw him perform under various ring names, primarily in regional promotions across the Midwest. These formative years were crucial, as Wackles developed the skills and persona that would later make him a memorable figure in the WWE. Wackles' most notable wrestling persona, Nailz, was introduced to the WWF audience in 1992. The character was built as a former convict seeking revenge against his former prison guard, the Big Boss Man. Nailz's backstory was one of oppression and retribution, creating a compelling narrative that resonated with fans. His deep, menacing voice, combined with his imposing physique, made him an unforgettable character. Nailz debuted on WWE programming in a series of vignettes, building anticipation for his arrival. When he finally appeared on screen, he attacked the Big Boss Man in a brutal assault, solidifying his role as a heel. Nailz's persona was characterized by his orange prison jumpsuit and a penchant for violent outbursts, often using a nightstick as his weapon of choice. His feuds with the Big Boss Man and other WWF superstars showcased his intimidating presence and his ability to generate heat from the crowd. One of the most memorable moments in Nailz's WWE career came during the nightstick on a pole match against the Big Boss Man at Survivor Series 1992. This match was the culmination of their heated feud, which had been brewing since Nailz' debut. The stipulation added an extra layer of drama, and Nightstick, symbolic of the Big Boss Man's role as a law enforcement officer, was suspended on a pole above the ring. The objective was for either competitor to climb the pole, retrieve the Nightstick, and use it as a weapon against their opponent. The match was a hard-hitting, physical contest that showcased the animosity between the two characters. Nailz dominated much of the early portion of the match, using his size and strength to overpower the Big Boss Man. However, the tide turned when the Big Boss Man's resilience and experience came into play. The dramatic climax saw the Big Boss Man successfully retrieve the Nightstick and use it to secure the victory, much to the delight of the crowd. This match not only brought their feud to a satisfying conclusion but also cemented the Big Boss Man's status as a fan favorite. After his match with Big Boss Man at Survivor Series 1992, Nailz made an appearance later in the show during the match involving The Undertaker. Though there was no direct physical altercation, tension was teased, hinting at a potential rivalry. WWF reportedly began planting seeds for a future feud between Nailz and The Undertaker. Nailz' menacing character and The Undertaker's stoic, supernatural persona were seen as a natural clash. However, no concrete matches for major segments involving the two ever aired. Nailz attacked Vince McMahon during a backstage altercation in December 1992, reportedly over financial disputes. According to multiple accounts, Wackles was unhappy with his pay for his work in WWF. During a conversation with McMahon, Nailz confronted him aggressively, accusing him of underpayment and unfair treatment. The situation escalated when Wackles allegedly physically assaulted McMahon by grabbing or choking him. The incident occurred shortly after Nailz' match with Big Boss Man at Survivor Series 1992, during what was otherwise a promising career trajectory for the character. Following this confrontation, Wackles was immediately terminated from the company, and all plans for his future storylines were cancelled. This moment became one of the most infamous backstage altercations in wrestling history and played a pivotal role in Nailz' abrupt exit from WWF. Despite his strong start in the WWF, Nailz' tenure was marred by controversy. Following his departure, Wackles' relationship with the WWF became further strained. He filed a lawsuit against McMahon, alleging sexual harassment, but the case was dismissed. Wackles also testified against McMahon during the 1994 steroid trial, though his credibility was called into question. These legal battles effectively ended Wackles' career in mainstream wrestling. After his departure from the WWF, Wackles largely retreated from the wrestling spotlight. He made sporadic appearances in independent promotions but never regained the prominence he once enjoyed. Wackles' post-wrestling life has been marked by relative obscurity, with little public information available about his personal or professional endeavors. After leaving WWF, Wackles made a brief and largely uneventful appearance in World Championship Wrestling. In 1993, he debuted under the ring name The Prisoner, clearly a nod to his Nailz persona, though WCW avoided using the same name for legal reasons. Wackles' WCW tenure was short-lived and consisted of a single notable appearance at Slamboree 1993, where he faced Sting in a one-on-one match. The match against Sting was a relatively quick encounter designed to showcase Sting's dominance as one of WCW's top stars. Wackles portrayed his familiar menacing character, but the bout was not competitive. Sting defeated The Prisoner decisively, and Wackles' brief WCW run ended shortly thereafter. Wackles did not have any significant storylines or rivalries in WCW. In his time, there is often remembered as a footnote in his wrestling career. The lack of direction and limited use of his character in WCW marked the end of Wackles' presence in major wrestling promotions. While Nailz' career in the WWF was short-lived, the character remains a memorable part of wrestling history. The intensity and realism Wackles brought to the role left a lasting impression on fans. Nailz' story also serves as a cautionary tale about the challenges and controversies that often accompany a career in professional wrestling. Kevin Wackles' journey as Nailz is a testament to the highs and lows of life in the wrestling world. From his dramatic debut to his abrupt departure, Nailz' story is one of ambition, conflict, and resilience. While his time in the spotlight was brief, the legacy of Nailz endures as a unique chapter in WWF history. Well, That's all we've got time for today, and a big thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future content. See you in the next video.
Roddy Piper, affectionately known as Hot Rod, was one of the most charismatic and influential figures in professional wrestling history. Born Roderick George Dooms on April 17, 1954, in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, Piper carved a niche for himself with his quick wit, fiery temper, and undeniable presence. Donning a kilt and wielding bagpipes, he brought a unique blend of Scottish heritage and rebellious energy to the ring, captivating audiences around the globe. As a master of the microphone and an expert provocateur, Piper became a cornerstone of wrestling's golden era in the 1980s. Whether inciting riots as a villain or earning cheers as an anti-hero, Piper's impact went beyond the ropes, cementing his legacy as one of wrestling's all-time greats and a pop culture icon. Welcome to Wrestling with Me, the ultimate destination for wrestling fans. Get ready to dive into the world of high-flying action, jaw-dropping moments, and all the drama inside the squared circle. Whether you're here for legendary matches or in-depth analysis, this is the place to be. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay in the loop as we bring you the best wrestling content every week. Few names in professional wrestling evoke the same level of respect and nostalgia as Hot Rod Roddy Piper, known for his in-match charisma, razor-sharp wit, and penchant for chaos. Piper was a trailblazer who transcended the confines of the squared circle. While he was never the prototypical world champion, his contributions to the industry were unparalleled, cementing his place as one of wrestling's most enduring legends. This video explores the life, career, and cultural impact of Roddy Piper, delving into what made him a cornerstone of professional wrestling history. Raised in a tumultuous household, Piper's youth was marked by frequent moves and strained relationships. His rebellious nature led him to leave home at an early age, taking refuge in the world of sports and martial arts. Piper's athleticism and resilience soon guided him to professional wrestling, where he debuted at the astonishingly young age of 15. His early wrestling career saw him performing under his real name before adopting the Roddy Piper persona. The nickname Hot Rod came later, inspired by his fiery temper and quick wit. With his bagpipes in hand, a nod to his Scottish heritage and a kilt around his waist, Piper began cultivating the unique persona that would eventually become iconic. By the late 1970s, Piper had honed his craft in various wrestling territories, including the National Wrestling Alliance and promotions across Canada, also in the United States. His natural ability to connect to audiences, either as a lovable rogue or a despicable villain, set him apart from his peers. Piper's gift for improvisation and his silver tongue made him an asset to promoters seeking to ignite crowd reactions. It was in the early 1980s that Piper truly began to gain national recognition. His work in promotions like Georgia Championship Wrestling and Jim Crockett Promotions showcased his burgeoning talent. However, his big break came when he joined the World Wrestling Federation in 1984. One of Piper's most significant contributions to wrestling was the introduction of the talk show segment Piper's Pit. Debuting in 1984, the segment became a groundbreaking platform for storytelling and character development. Unlike traditional wrestling promos, Piper's Pit emphasized dialogue-driven confrontations, allowing Piper to showcase his verbal dexterity and psychological mastery. One of the most memorable moments in Piper's Pit history occurred when Piper smashed a coconut over Jimmy Superfly Snuka's head. The shocking act solidified Piper's status as one of wrestling's most hated villains. These segments not only elevated Piper's character but also laid the groundwork for countless rivalries, cementing Piper's Pit as a pivotal element of wrestling programming. Roddy Piper played a crucial role in the success of the inaugural WrestleMania in 1985. Paired with Paul Orndorff in a tag team match against Hulk Hogan and Mr. T, Piper was the antagonist fans loved to hate. The match infused with celebrity involvement and larger-than-life personas helped catapult WrestleMania into a global spectacle. While Piper's rivalry with Hogan defined much of the WWF's early boom period, it was his ability to draw heat and generate interest that made him invaluable. Piper didn't need championship belts to validate his importance. His mere presence guaranteed an emotional reaction from the audience. Piper's career was marked by an ability to seamlessly transition between roles. Whether he was a villain inciting riots or a beloved hero standing up against tyranny, Piper's authenticity shone through. This versatility was evident in his matches against an array of opponents, including Greg the Hammer Valentine, Bret Hitman Hart, and Adrian Adonis. At WrestleMania 6 in 1990, Roddy Piper faced Bad News Brown. For this match, Piper painted half of his body black to symbolize the supposed two sides of his personality. The gesture was intended as mind games in the storyline but was widely criticized as racially insensitive and offensive. Piper later claimed he didn't see it as racist and was attempting to create a psychological angle for the match, but it remains one of the most controversial moments of his career. Piper often pushed boundaries with his promos. While he was known for his sharp wit and improvisation, some of this work included racial or ethnic undertones that would be considered unacceptable by today's standards. For example, during his feud with Mr. T leading into WrestleMania, Piper made comments that some fans and critics interpreted as racist. His match against Bret Hart at WrestleMania 8 remains a standout example of Piper's technical prowess and storytelling ability. The bout showcased Piper's capacity to adapt his in-ring style, proving that he was more than just a charismatic talker. The blend of sportsmanship and cunning in this match demonstrated the depth of Piper's character, leaving fans with a lasting memory of his multifaceted talents. Beyond the wrestling ring, Roddy Piper made a significant impact on popular culture. His starring role in John Carpenter's 1988 cult classic They Live introduced him to a broader audience. As Nailz, a drifter who discovers a Sinistralian conspiracy, Piper delivered the now iconic line, "I have come here to chew bubblegum and cake ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum." Piper's performance in They Live showcased his natural charisma and acting chops, earning him a place in the annals of science fiction cinema. His foray into Hollywood reflected the growing crossover appeal of professional wrestlers, paving the way for future stars like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Dave Bautista. While Piper's career was filled with triumphs, it was not without its challenges. The physical and mental toll of wrestling, coupled with personal struggles, tested his resilience. Piper's candidness about his battles with addiction and the pressures of the wrestling industry shed light on the often harsh realities faced by performers. Despite these struggles, Piper remained a beloved figure among fans and peers alike. His willingness to mentor younger wrestlers and share his experiences demonstrated his enduring passion for the business. On July 31, 2015, Roddy Piper passed away in his sleep at the age of 61 due to a cardiac arrest. His untimely death shocked the wrestling world and left an irreplaceable void in the hearts of fans and peers. Despite his passing, Piper's influence and legacy remain as strong as ever. Roddy Piper's influence on professional wrestling is immeasurable. His ability to captivate audiences with his words and actions set a standard for future generations of wrestlers. From his trailblazing work in Piper's Pit to his unforgettable rivalries, Piper redefined what it meant to be a wrestling superstar. Even after his untimely passing in 2015, Piper's legacy endures. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2005, a testament to his indelible impact on the industry. Modern wrestlers often cite Piper as an inspiration, with his innovative promos and larger-than-life persona serving as a blueprint for success. Hot Rod Roddy Piper was more than just a wrestler. He was an entertainer, a provocateur, and a cultural icon. His ability to blur the lines between reality and fiction, combined with his unparalleled charisma, made him one of the most compelling figures in professional wrestling history. Piper's contributions to the sport and his influence on popular culture ensure that his legacy will continue to resonate with fans for generations to come. As the man himself might say, just when they think they've got the answers, I change the questions. Well, that's all we've got time for today, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future content. See you in the next video.